Girl, are you sleeping on your gifts? There is so much value, so much potential, and so much purpose on the inside of you. And I'm sorry, friend. I refuse to allow you to let them lay dormant because so many times our eyes are on someone else's lane. But I really want to help us, the visionaries, the dreamers, the creatives, the entrepreneurs, zone in on their area of genius. I want us to be self-aware. I want us to increase in confidence and produce value as if the world was looking, okay? Because our gifts lay dormant because of things like comparison, fear, the what is, lack of confidence, and all of those things. But this month, the month of March, honey, I want to do a 4-week series because, girl, you are gifted. And we can't afford to sleep on our gifts, and here's why. Number one, impact can be made from our gifts. Number two, money can be made from our gifts. Number three, purpose can be had from our gifts. And number four, fulfillment can be had from using our gifts. Okay? And honey, the world is waiting. You are an answer to somebody's problem in this earth. Okay? And if you don't know who I am Myah Unique. I am your multi-passionate, purpose-pushing, visionary friend. That's who I am. And I am here to push you towards your purpose. Because, friend, we cannot afford to keep sleeping on our gifts. So I ask you again, girl, are you sleeping on your gifts? And the only reason that I can ask you that is because, girl, I was, right? I was the friend that was sleeping on their gift. Let me take you down memory lane real quick. Let me take you down memory lane. So, girl, first and foremost, I was very much gifted and blind. Okay. And I personally experienced this when I was younger, right? I was full of gifts. Okay. From thinking outside the box, wisdom beyond my years, being a creative, being a solutionist, right? Like being like literally taking things and making things out of nothing. I was that girl, like had duct tape businesses, candy stores and wagons, all the things, right? But the reality was I wasn't getting applauded for those things. Like that those weren't the gifts that were popular or desired. And I'm speaking of a time where being a creative, baby, that wasn't cute. You know what I'm saying? Like being odd, being weird, wearing pops of color. Like, honey, that is just now being normalized. You know what I'm saying? And so again, these weren't gifts that were popular or applauded or even deemed as gifts, as in acting or singing or dancing or any of those other gifts, right? Those more so were the seen gifts, the things that, people could hear or see. But when it comes down to how a person thinks, that's different and unusual, like that those weren't gifts that were applauded. And I don't know if you can relate. Let me know if you can relate. Comment below for my gifted friends, but your gifts weren't applaudable. I don't know if that's a word. I make up words all the time, but I don't know if your gifts were applaudable, if they were deemed as, oh, like, wow, or people looked at you like weird or strange because you were a little peculiar. Your gifts were peculiar. And that was me. I had the gift of writing, but instead I more so use that gift to put me in a position of like songwriting, which, baby girl, I love to sing, but honey, I'm not a singer. You know what I'm saying? So I love writing books. I love doing all of those things. I literally remember I have so many journals, so many notebooks, but girl, because I was focused on somebody else's lane, here I am writing a song when I was supposed to be writing a book. You know what I'm saying? So I used to do all of those things, and then I end up finding out, honey, you're walking in someone else's gifts. instead of utilizing your own, right? Like, and I had to really face the reality, like, am I ashamed? Am I looking for validation? Am I insecure about my own self? You know what I mean? And that's really what began to cause that question on, do you really know who you are? But not only do you know who you are, but do you like who you are? Do you love who you are? You know what I mean? And I think that was where I began to really like click that, girl, you don't know who you are. Not only do you not know who you are, but you also have this negative self-image, meaning you don't like who you are. You know what I'm saying? You don't like how God created you, right? And so I had to really like sit with myself. I had to literally sit with myself because I'm like, honey, there are some things that we got to get together. We got to get together because you weren't called to walk in somebody else's lane. You weren't called to pursue somebody else's gifts, right? And so again, I realized I had this light bulb moment, honey. You're doing things that you weren't meant to do. So there's this internal frustration happening because, again, you're walking in somebody else's shoes. They're too small. They're too little. They're perfect for them, but they're too little for you, okay? And then it also left me like confused and without clarity because I'm like, okay, the way that I'm supposed to be going, walking in my own gifts, it's original, right? Nobody has ever done this before. So I'm a little nervous. I'm a little fearful. I'm a little scared of what this will look like. Because why? No one is applauding. No one could go with me or before me. It was just me and God. And I think this is where our initial hurdle has to happen. You know what I mean? You have to be okay and accept and even love your makeup, your blueprint, your design, your function, your gifts, your purpose, right? You have to love that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you looking at other people, and that's just so crazy how influence works. How influence and even comparison works, because it's like, we could be looking at something and see it as desirable, but that doesn't always mean that it's meant for you. You know what I mean? It doesn't always mean that it was designed for you. But it's so easy because with our eyes and with our own hearts, we begin to desire things. That doesn't necessarily mean that just because you could imagine yourself doing something like that doesn't mean that you were designed for that. You know, so again, that was my initial hurdle. And sometimes we even acknowledge the fact that, hey, I'm gifted too. But many times we don't want to embark on that journey or step out on our gifts because honestly, it's not that easy to do sometimes. So I get it. I understand. Like, it's not easy to step out. It's easier sometimes to sleep on your gifts, honey, to put the eye mask on and go to bed. Okay. But yeah, it's easier to do that, right? Because I mean, you're listening to the person I'm big on avoiding. Okay, I don't like conflict, chaos, all the things. But some things you have to learn to face head on, because the more you just be in denial, the more you walk around not liking yourself, the more you walk around like being your biggest hater. You know what I mean? Sometimes we distracted by, oh, these people hating on me, honey. Sometimes you hating on you, and I'm the friend that want to have this real hard conversation with you. Like, are you really sleeping on yourself? Are you really? And here's the thing. Are you really? Because sometimes we like, oh, I believe God and he's going to do all these big things and have all these blessings and stuff for me. But the reality is, do you know that when you sleep on yourself and you sleep on your gifts, you're really sleeping on God? That's a deep question to really reflect on, because you like, oh yeah, I believe God, I trust God. And he's like, but do you value and cherish what I put on the inside of you? Do you? Do you know who the one who created you? You know that I got all this value, but do you know that you're more precious than ruby? You're the apple of my eye. Do you know that? Because you don't see, and this is God speaking, you don't see yourself how I see you. And this is what that was my conflicting moment, right? Because I couldn't do what I was supposed to do because, honey, getting on camera and recording myself, I said, I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. And even me showing up today is a testimony in and of itself. That's why I have to keep showing up. Because you who's watching this video needs to know and really think, am I sleeping on myself? Am I sleeping on the gifts that I have, on the value, the wisdom, the insight, the strategy that I have downloaded on the inside of me? But because my eyes is on somebody else's lane, or because I'm occupied, I can't fully leverage my gifts. So sometimes we choose to be blind and distracted because honestly, it's easier. If I'm being real with you, friend, it's easier. But I'm here to tell you it won't fulfill you and it won't satisfy you. All of my content, I always want to be reflective. I always want to be deep because everybody's saying the same thing, right? Like everybody's talking about the same stuff. But I really want you, when watching this content, to really stop and think like, am I? Like maybe I'm operating, because here's the thing, I don't want us to get prideful. I had mine either. You know what I'm saying? Because even for me, this is a question for me, girl. Hello, wake up. Because when I'm talking and I'm delivering, I'm also talking to myself, girl. Hello, wake up. Are you, when you sit back and think, are you leveraging your gifts? Are you using all of your gifts? Is there a gift you sleeping on? Because sometimes you could be operating in one or two. Don't realize you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's not going to fulfill you. It's not going to satisfy you. It will only frustrate you. I'm telling you, friend, it's only going to frustrate you. And it's so crazy because that frustration is expressed in many different ways. Because how many do you know? How many of us know that sometimes you're frustrated because you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're like, well, God, you made this promise about millions and you're going to do this and you said you're going to do that. And he's like, I am. But I want to use this gift and that gift and this gift and that gift. But because your eyes are closed and you're sleeping on those gifts, you're standing in the way. You're blocking what I'm trying to do. How many of us are blocking? Blocking our own blessing because our eyes closed. We thought he was just about to do. Here's the 6 figures. And he's like, no, I want you to use what I gave you. You know that saying they say all the time? Everything you need is already on the inside of you. That first $100, that first $1,000, I know I'm talking to entrepreneurs here, it's in you. There's a problem you can solve, right? And so what's causing us to sleep on our gifts instead of appreciate them? We got to expose this. I came on here to give you a push and give you encouragement, but I also came to expose some things. Because this is the reason why, honey, we got to do what we're supposed to do. We can't, move forward. We can't leverage what's on the inside because of these 4 things. I'm going to leave you with these 4 things and I'm going to wrap it up because I ain't come here to talk to you long. I told you we're going to be here all 4 weeks. 4, okay? Because we got some things that we want to talk about. Just how to discover your gifts, how to monetize your gifts, okay? We're talking about all those things because I'm talking to the creators, the dreamers, the entrepreneurs, okay? But before we can get there, the question is, are you sleeping on them? It's time to wake up. Wake up from your slumber. Wake up from your sleep. Okay? So number one, what's causing us to sleep on our gifts instead of appreciate them? Number 1, comparison. Comparison. I've been talking about this all this chat. Okay? Looking at somebody else's lane, somebody else's grass, somebody else's life, somebody else's gifts. Comparison is all about somebody else. And here's the thing that we don't realize it's building on the inside of our hearts. It's building a thing called envy, where you look at somebody else's life and you wish you had, right? And that envy, honey, can do a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? Where you start, oh, these people don't deserve that. Or maybe you turn it into a competition because pride get in there too. You know what I'm saying? And so again, looking at somebody else's lane. If you focus on somebody else, you can't see what's right in front of you. So this is just a reminder because we talk about comparison all the time. So I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to harbor on this too long. But I just really want to encourage you, friend, because it's easy. Our eyes are prone to wonder. Okay? Prone to wonder. So this is just a reminder. Take your eyes off of everybody else. I know with social media, you see fragments of people's lives, but you just don't know. You don't know what people have to sacrifice. You don't know what some people are buying. You don't know what people are going through. You know what I'm saying? So take your eyes off of other people. Because the reality is you're not getting the every single day, real, raw, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? So let's take our eyes off of other people. Because this is what's causing us to sleep on our own gifts. Good for them. Applaud them. Celebrate them. But honey, it's time to focus on you and your lane so that you can show up and you can be effective. Number 2, busyness. Honey, baby, child, we busy, right? Like, I know me, girly in her 20s, some things. Which is so crazy I'm about to be 24. Sidebar. But anyway, yeah, girl in her 20-somethings, I understand, honey. We be gonna go. Like, go. This, that, third. And I've been, in college, high school. I feel like the older we get, the more busy we get, the more responsibilities we have. So I get it. I don't have children yet, but I understand that's also a factor for some, right? We got all of this stuff going on. And maybe you started the business. Maybe you started the ministry. Maybe you started all of these things. So you really got your hands in a lot of things. But I really want to challenge you. If you feel like you are sleeping on your gifts and there's something, because you will know, again, that internal frustration, you will know if you're stifling yourself. You will know if you're settling for less. You will know if you're trying to take the easy way out. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't like to suffer. We don't like to do hard things. If I'm speaking to my generation, Gen Zers, come to the front of the room, babies. Come to the front of the room. Put them eyes out. Baby girl, we don't like pain. We don't like hardship. And sometimes we struggle to endure that. And that's why I'm grateful for older generations and like our parents and grandparents. Because baby, one thing's for certain, 2 things for sure, they got grit. They know how to work hard. And some of them had to be single mothers. I'm a little scared for our generation because we be ready to throw in a towel and quit. But it's like, sometimes our generation lack grit. We lack endurance. We lack resilience. You know what I'm saying? We are so easy sometimes to throw in the towel. How do I know? Because your girl is a part of the same generation. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes when things are hard, we like, why me? Why I gotta go through da. Girl, I get it. I don't even know how we got here. I don't know where I was going with this, but what I'm trying to say is gathering my thought. You know when you're settling for you're taking the easy way out, right? You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're doing something. So then you start feeling like, you start giving yourself excuses like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing down deep in my heart that I know I'm supposed to do, but I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not starting a YouTube channel, but I did a podcast. I'm not, going to do outreach ministry. I'm doing social media ministry. I'm not doing da-da-da-da-da, but I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we like to excuse ourselves or justify our actions as if, like, that's going to take away from the deep, deep, deep down thing we're supposed to be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying all of this to say sometimes we're busy doing things, but are they purposeful things? Here's going back to intentional living. Are they intentional things? Is this aligned with your purpose? Is this aligned with your gifts? Is this the season? Because the Bible say there's a time and a season to everything. So is this the season? Is it premature? These are questions to think about. Is there something that's been on your heart that you're not quite doing yet? And why not? It's time to deal with that. Instead of just being occupied with all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Because what I always say is, I don't want to be busy with stuff and it's just stuff. You know what I mean? It's not purposeful, not satisfying, not fulfilling, not nothing. It's just like piles of bags of garbage. Like, it's just things I'm carrying, but it has no real purpose to be carried. It's supposed to be thrown away at this point. You know what I'm saying? So that's number 2. Number 3, committing to unaligned ideas. So that goes from busyness to this, right? Like, again, there are some ideas that are great ideas. And I say this all the time. They're great ideas for other people. Great. Awesome. Magnificent. Anybody else could do it. But for you, they're not a God idea. It wasn't what God had in his plans for you. It wasn't in his cards. It wasn't in design. You know what I mean? Even the way that he made you, your personality. Like, really, I'm telling you, and we're going to talk about this next week. But I'm telling you, it's really simple when you really think about it. Again, mic check. It's really simple. Like, I'm telling you, when it comes down to your identity, your purpose, your passions, your life vision, it's right in front of you. I mean, God don't make it complicated. He don't make it hard. But the reality is sometimes we miss it. We miss all the signs, the puzzle pieces, girl, all the things. All the things. So again, we commit to unaligned ideas, like just random side hustles, baby. They got alignment to you at all, honey. Just all types of stuff. We just commit to. Just sometimes for the fun of it. Sometimes because we need a dollar. I need a dollar. I need a dollar. I need a dollar. Hey, 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 hey. Sometimes we just be committed to stuff. And again, waste of time, waste of potential, waste of purpose, waste of your gifts. Like, we don't want to waste what God put on the inside of us. We don't, right? We can afford to. We don't want to take what's in us with the gems and the value that he's put on the inside of us to the grave. So again, what's causing you to sleep on your gifts, number 3, is committing to unaligned ideas. Again, I want this to be deep. I want this to be reflective. And I want this to challenge you to go back and say, am I sleeping on a gift? Am I sleeping on a gift? Am I? Seriously, are you? Number 4. I was about to do, but I think I've used all. Number 4. Fulfilling someone else's purpose. Somebody else, right? So again, you're looking at somebody else's life. You're walking in their shoes. You became an influencer because somebody else was an influencer. You became a content creator because somebody else was a content creator. You became, a blogger because somebody else is a blogger. You became a vlogger because somebody else is a vlogger. You became this, you became that, you did it, right? So you are doing something because you saw somebody else do it. Maybe you've been following their story. Maybe at first you were inspired by them, but now you're being influenced by them, and now you're trying to imitate them. There's a difference between inspiration and imitation, right? So make sure, and we're going to talk about that too, like pulling inspiration. How do you find inspiration as a creative and a visionary? We're going to talk about it. In this series. Because I think so many times, like, it's easy to look at somebody and be like, oh, like, I really like what they do. So now I'm going to change my style, my colors, my hair, my this, my that, to do what they're doing. Because why? Their content is popping. They got millions and millions of followers. So obviously what they're doing and their lifestyle works. So I'm going to follow them. You know what I mean? I'm going to do them. I'm going to copy and paste the strategy, the blueprint, the look, all the things, right? But in our reality, that's not how we pull inspiration. Okay? So again, fulfilling someone else's purpose. So I want you to think, am I? Like, because maybe you're called to be a content creator, but not like your normal content creator, you know? You could always counterculture, challenge the social norm, do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Do something you've never seen before. Oh, that's so dangerous. Like, those are dangerous words when you really think about it. So lastly, friend, I asked you for the last time. I know you're probably tired of hearing me at this point. If you're still watching, because I know sometimes it'd be like, girl, you in my business. So click. But I promise it's all with love. I asked you for the last time, girl. Are you sleeping on your gift? Are you? Am I? Okay. Again, I want each one of these videos to challenge you to make sure you aren't skipping over any gifts, but you are utilizing and maximizing each one. Okay? That's it, friend. I ain't gonna keep you no longer. I love you, girl. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.